Hey tribe, welcome back to my channel. My name is Phylicia Benn for those who don't know. I am the owner of City Republic. I sell hair, clothes, accessories, lingerie, resort wear, and now I sell hair. So I pretty much started my business from one pair of jeans all by myself, and I used the profits from that one pair of jeans to have this amazing collection that I have now. So this video is kind of like a reintroduction to my life because so much has happened and I don't really use my YouTube like that. I've had this platform for I think since 2012, but I pretty much just use it for like tutorial videos or anything. I'm not a YouTuber, but I'm gonna try to change that. So hopefully y'all's encouragement and motivation can get me back on this platform, you know. So if you like this video, please hit like, please comment and engage. The reason why I even took so long to record this video and do this video is because this man throughout the whole divorce was threatening to sue me for defamation. Like, he was trying to take control of my social media platform. He even put in the decree that I can't talk about his business, like in the decree for the divorce. And I'm like, ain't nobody worried about you. So after talking to my lawyers, it's like, as long as I don't mention your name or your business, which, like I said, you will not eat for free off of me anymore, we don't have no problems. So anyways, let's get into it. Your girl is divorced, happily divorced. I've been with someone for the past 7 years of my life, and I have evolved and changed so many times during those 7 years, and I literally graduated that relationship. I graduated FBU, Fuckboy University. I feel like I need to get that shit on a t-shirt. Anyway, I have learned so many lessons in that marriage, in that phase of my life, okay? And those who know me know I'm an open book. You know, I feel like my purpose here on this earth is to live my life and share my life. That's just how I've always been. These are the lessons that I've learned, okay? Number one, never date a man over the age of 50 unless you're like 40 or 50 yourself, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it, sis. Lesson number two, it is a red flag if a man over the age of 50 is trying to talk to and get in a relationship with someone in their 20s. Okay. Lesson number three, trust in yourself. Follow your conscience, your intuition. All right. Other thing, believe people when they show you who they are the first time. Don't get into a relationship thinking that you're going to change somebody and they're going to change for you. They can only change for themselves. So many lessons, but let's rewind and let's give you a little backstory on my life. So when I met my ex-husband, I was 20 and he was 50 or approaching 50. He was 49 or 50 years old. And when he found me, he was pretty much like all in my Instagram and like in my comments and in my DMs because he had a shoe company. And at the time I had, you know, really started doing modeling because I wasn't really allowed to start modeling until like after high school. So I had started doing that and I was getting companies reaching out to me. This is when Instagram literally first started. This was back in 2012. So then, so he reached out to me. I met up with him, and mind you, I have never dated a man more than 5 years older than me because at 20, I had only had 2 serious relationships. I've always been kind of like, I hated dating, so therefore I was always in a relationship with somebody, and my relationships would last like a year or 2. I didn't start dating until high school. I had my first boyfriend freshman year. So freshman year, I was 14. We were together for 2 years. Then I had a boyfriend that I wasn't too serious about. Then I had my other serious boyfriend that I met in senior year. That was like a serious toxic ass relationship, like physically abusive, verbally abusive. Like, I actually had an abortion in that relationship. Like, it was seriously traumatizing. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot I went through with that person, and I was with him for like a year or two, almost on 2 years. Then that summer I was like, oh fuck this, I'm gonna be single, I'm young, I'm not trying to be tied down, blah blah blah. Then in November of that year, after I broke up, I met who happens to be my husband, who was my husband, and then I was with him for the past 7 years of my life, and I just got divorced. So my dating history is very short. And anyway, so he was the first person that I dated that was outside of my race as well, 3 times older than me. And like me, I'm connected to the person's like energy. And like one thing about me is I love that when I feel like I can learn and grow from the person that I'm dating. Like if they can put me on, that shit is sexy as fuck to me. So boys my age at that time wasn't gonna do shit for me, okay? So this guy, I was like, oh, he's cute, and he was distinguished. Like he looked good, like he took care of himself. Like you can tell he still cared about his health, like he cared about his style. He was very youthful, very charming, very up to date on pop culture, very black, like very like he really was trying to assert himself into the black community so much. So that he like pretty much knew about the weaves. He was like, oh, I've been with girls like this, I've been with girls like that, I've been with black girls like this and black girls like that. Like he was just like pretty much, since he's 50, he done been with a lot of women. Okay, and a lot of those women were young black girls such as myself. And it started off professional. Like it was like, okay, yeah, like you give me your shoes, I model, I take pictures or whatever. Then every time I would come over, you know, we started flirting a little bit more. Be there nights where he was like packing all these hundreds of orders and I'll be there helping him pack and stuff. And I was like, yo, this is something I would want to do. And basically he put me on game. Never funded my business. And then it kind of like led into a relationship, like very quickly. It led into a relationship. So then there was this drama, which was like one of the first red flags, that he had the business that he had, the shoe business he had at the time, he had partnered with another young black girl. And she was pretty much really jealous of me. Like she was like, oh, out of all the models, I know you would have sex with her, I know you want to be with her, blah blah blah. Like she was really jealous. And then we were spending a lot of time together. So come to find out, they were fucking. And basically she was like, you need to choose between this business or her. Weeks later, that business was sold. They wasn't working together no more, and it was us. I was like, okay, cool. Like, you made your decision. And at this time, it was still the beginning of our relationship, so I didn't really have much expectation. I'm not the type of person to pry. Like, I'm not the type of girl that's gonna go through your phone. Like, I trust you until you give me a reason not to trust you. Years passed, and then we got engaged, like our 3rd year together. In between that time, my issue is, and this is the thing with older men, they will try to control you. They will try to monopolize your time by getting you to do things to prove that that you're worth being with them. Because especially when they're dating a younger girl, because if they're 50 or they're 40, more than likely they should have their life set up. Okay, of course they're going to be able to provide for you, and they're going to be able to dazzle you with all these fancy things, and you know, like do all of that, because you should have this shit together at 50. My whole relationship before we got engaged was me basically proving to him that I'm worth it. Like, I am a good woman. Like, I'm Trinidadian. My values, my culture is different. He was so surprised that I knew how to cook, that I was just naturally just like cleaning, and you know, because yes, I'm independent, but at the same time, you know, I like to take care of the person that I'm with. So he was seeing all these things, and he was just like, always be like, you're so young, like, why do you want this? Like, why do you want to be in a committed relationship? Like, why? And meanwhile, I should be asking him, you're so old, why aren't you in a committed relationship? Why don't nobody want you? Like, that's weird. So, but it's just like, when you're in it, I wasn't thinking like that. So moving forward now, we're engaged, and it's cool. Like, we spend majority of our days together. But one thing that he started doing was he started taking up photography. And the reason why he started taking up photography was because photographers are scumbags. Like, majority of them are thirsty as fuck. They're just trying to shoot to fuck, and they just ugh. So like, he started taking up photography so that he can help me, like, you know, not have to deal with that. So then, you know, he started really liking it. He started really like, oh, you know, I used to do photography back in the 30s or however, you know, I'm just playing. But he's like, I used to do this back in high school. So now he's shooting for my business. So then he started, because before it was just me modeling for my business, and then he was like, oh, you should bring in other models so that you can have a, you know, a diverse audience, you know, so that you can expand your brand and blah blah blah. And I was just like, yeah, you know, because marketing perspective, it sounds smart, like, of course. Like me, I'm tired of constantly creating all the content, so I'm like, yes, I would like for someone else to do it. So not knowing that his intentions were like he was doing it all for himself. So anyway, so then we start shooting, and then before I knew it, it became a thing where we would shoot every single Friday night. So this is how it happened. Like, we got engaged, he picked up photography, then we got married. So when we got married, it was nice, you know. I still never really had any inkling that, you know, he was cheating on me, or that, you know, he was really being manipulative, because like for me, I feel like it's very natural for men to be controlling, because, you know, masculine energy, all that testosterone, that's just how they are. So like for me, I'm like, any relationship I get in, I'm gonna have to deal with that. And it's just a matter if they love me enough or respect me enough to change. Not even love me enough, respect over love. So if they that's another lesson, respect over love. So if they respect me enough, you know, they'll work out their insecurities and all of these issues that they have, and then, you know, for the best of the relationship and themselves. So then anyways, so the thing that really put the crack in the vase in our relationship, it was one photo shoot that we had did, implied shoot, and I was like all covered in tribal paint. Like my whole body was covered in tribal paint, and I was sitting on a stool, just kind of like perched up, and you just see like the hourglass figure, but you see the shadow, and I had like my wig on, and it was like afro. So the way the lighting was, all you can see is my silhouette. You can't see who it is, you can't see my face. It's just like, just this, damn, Coca-Cola. So this man is editing the photo, and what does he do? He removes the wedding ring. He edits the wedding ring out of the picture, because it was a big ass rock. So you can see how the lighting catch it. You see that there's this rock sitting right there. When I was like, why would you do that? His excuse was, oh, you know, just for you know, I just want to make it clean. And I'm just like, you would just remove what symbolizes marriage and our life together? You would edit that out of a photo? You've never done that before. He was like, oh, I don't really want people to know it's you. And I'm like, why? Like, so it was just kind of like, how do you see my body really? Like, how it just made me, I looked at him so much differently, in like how he was so possessive, and how he saw my body as like an object, and how he can claim it and discard it whenever he felt fit. Because it was like, oh, you can post that photo though, but you're gonna post a photo on Instagram, but you don't want people to know it's me. Then after that, I didn't feel comfortable shooting implied with him anymore. I was like, nah, I don't even feel comfortable showing him, nah. And this is my own husband, because I was like, you're gonna have to find somebody else to shoot if you want to shoot like that. And mind you, every single concept this man had was an implied or nude concept. There wasn't no concept with clothes. We argued about that for the first year that he was shooting. He did not stop within that first year. When I was like, and this is the other thing, he started shooting my cousin Amber. He was like, oh, I'll pay you $100 if you come shoot every Friday night. It was only a matter of time before she started complaining about the same thing. She was just like, I can't really post these photos, you know, there's too many implied. She was like, you know, 1 or 2 is cool, but that's not really my thing. Then he really tried to make her feel stupid and dumb for not doing it. He was like, this is the industry, like this is how it is. It even got so bad because Amber came to me and told me that how she had a dream about him, like pretty much invaded her privacy in her sleep, took a picture of her like exposed and like posted on Instagram. So like for that to subconsciously like be bothering her in her sleep, then you know it's a problem. And her being my best friend, like we've been best friend like for like 10 years, you know what I'm saying? Like she's the longest relationship I have and that I cherish. So when she told me that, it just kind of really just, it was like, dang, I can't even look at my husband the same way. Like, she stopped shooting with him. She felt uncomfortable shooting with him after that. So, and then after that, I actually decided to go through his iPad one day and saw that he had a whole bunch of archives with like someone, like girls' titties exposed, like all the off-guard photos that you wouldn't post because you can't edit them. He would keep them in like a little folder, and I'm just kind of like, I'm just disgusted. It was just like, in a way, I was like, well, who the fuck did I marry, you know? Because I feel like before, when he first started, his shoe company was his outlet, like his bait. Because even with his shoe company, he only targeted like black models, all of his customers. And because he was all for the black people, all for the black women and all of this, that, you know, his audience were all like black women who were like buying shoes, and how he would market the product so he can target that. So now it's just like, now he's pretty much like using his photography to kind of get that out in a different way. And it's like, for months I felt so guilty, because it's just like, I'm the one that built this man's platform. I'm the one who pretty much put him onto all the brands, and I'm the reason why he's able to now work with this audience and now be able to say, oh, I worked with so and so. And then of course models who are trying to be somebody is gonna be like, oh my god, like, oh, you shot with, like, oh my god. And so they're gonna be like down for whatever. And I feel like, damn, it's like perfect, because like I said before, photographers are scums. So it's like perfect for him. It's clear that this man, I can tell he was developing a fetish, because it was like, if every single concept, this girl is naked, and then you have your wife crying, telling you to please stop, I don't like it, I don't feel comfortable. And then he was literally picking models up, like all these strange ass girls coming in and out of our house, because we didn't have a studio. So now I'm dealing with all these energies, all these lost souls, because he will always pick these girls who had nothing to offer, that weren't educated, that were literally like raised in a fucking barn type shit. Like, these were the girls that he would bring. And it's just like, I will feel comfortable with this girl walking around with her titties hanging out. Like, what the fuck? You're a whole married man. Like, dead ass, I'm telling you. Then there was this time he started buying liquor for the models. So when they come over to our home, I'm sitting at the counter and I see this girl walk over to my cabinet, open the cabinet, and make herself a drink with her designated bottle of liquor. The same model he asked if he can go to the bar and hang out with, who was I think she was like 3 or 4 years younger than me at that time. You have a whole fine ass wife at home. What the fuck you need to go to the bar with this young black girl? She just barely was illegalized. Like, listen, when I say I was going through some shit with this man, oh Lord have mercy, like, I was going through it. And it didn't help that he started insinuating that I should have threesomes with one of the models that he was shooting, because I had came out to him about being bisexual. And this was something that I've kind of always kept on the inside. Even though I've been with women and I like being with women, it's like I can't see myself in a relationship with a woman. I feel more secure with a man, you know? But anyways, so he would kind of use that to kind of be like, oh, well, we should get this out of your system. Like, we should do it with so-and-so. And I'm just like, ew, like, didn't you have enough fun? Like, didn't you have enough orgies in your life? Like, why the fuck are you trying to bring this shit over here? Like, I'm not about to do that. We're married. Like, this is something, if we were gonna do this, that it would be like in the beginning of our relationship, or with someone that I wouldn't even consider marrying, because that's a lot. That's, to me, that's, sex is sacred, okay? When that started happening and I started having less sex with him and I started watching more porn, because I was not trying to have sex with him, I knew he was getting it from somewhere else. I knew it. I know he wasn't getting it from me. So he had to, and I was fine with that. Like, I was like, shit, as long as he don't, his dirty ass don't gotta touch me, I'm cool with that. There was a point in the relationship where I literally just hated to have sex with him. Like, the thought of having sex with him would just literally make me want to fucking just jump off the balcony, like, for real. And this is because in my spirit, I knew that he was cheating on me, because every single dream, every single dream that I had, this man was cheating on me, doing something scandalous, doing something malicious, and it will always be with like one of the models that he was with. Like, it was, I never had a good dream about this man. There was never a positive dream. And that's the other thing that I understand about like spirit wives and spirit husbands. Like, when you have sex, there's this energy exchange, like there really is. So like for me, like anytime I would have sex with him, I would feel drained, I would feel tired, I would feel like something was taken from me, and I would always have these dreams about him cheating. I found out that one time when I was out of town that these two models got into like a physical, like they got into an altercation, and they just all of a sudden just was like going at it with each other. The only reason why hood rat females fight is over money and dudes, okay? And I know he ain't paying them shit, so I know it was definitely the dick, okay? So that was kind of suspicious. One of the models I knew for sure, because she was just the nastiest down low hoe I could ever think of. Like, I told him multiple times to stop shooting with this girl because she was just so stank. Like, she, like, every time I come in the house, I know she there because the house just fucking stank like the trash been sitting in the damn house. So I know, okay? And then the other girl, she was Trini, and she was all like trying to be my friend and shit. So that's really funny, because after this whole entire situation was over, like when I left him and everything, and she decided to still keep shooting with him, working with him. Another model that outside of this situation, like she found out about him after we separated, 2 months after we separated. Actually, no, the next month, because we separated in July and he started fucking her in New York, and she was a model in New York. And so she reached out to me. Like, she found me on Instagram. And how did she know to find me on Instagram, y'all? Y'all wondering why? Because every single fucking model he shoots with, he goes, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. This is my company. I'm a photographer. And my ex-wife is Phylicia. She's a bitch. She's a that. Make sure to block her off of all her Instagram. Block her." He tells every single model he ever shoots with to block me on Instagram, block all my business pages, block all my friends and family. So think about this. Imagine you, a young 20-something-year-old girl, because that's the only type of women he talks to, talking to this 56-year-old man, meeting them for the first time. But then within the first 5 minutes, or maybe the first 24 hours of y'all talking, you find out about his ex, you find out her Instagram, you find out her friends, you find out all this, and he's telling you to block them, and you listen. Not to mention, y'all, that the same exact model that I suspected that he was cheating on me with, he's in a relationship with her right now. Let me tell you something, sis. Your time's up on your 25th birthday. He gonna throw you away, sis. Just letting you know. Now, at this time, my spirituality, I'm having like a spiritual war, a spiritual conflict, because now the house is in a discord. The house, there's no peace. I'm unsettled. And then the other thing that I was noticing about how restless and how different our spiritualities were, this man would be sleeping in the same bed next to me, restless, can't sleep, up all night, just look, and the next morning he would wake up looking like ghost. Just, it was just like, damn, what demons are you battling, honey? Because I slept great. And then I noticed, as my business started to grow and as my business started to flourish, from day one, anytime a customer would call me and have a customer complaint, and I will always be able to turn that customer into a happy customer, make them come back, buy more, or they will know who I am and they'll be excited to talk to me every single time I get off the phone. Ugh, it's so annoying how your customers like you. I never had customers like that. Like, why do they like you so much? Hateration. Pure hateration. Not to mention the control. Anytime I wanted to go somewhere, anytime I wanted to do something, he was like, oh, you need to do this first before you do this. And when I started traveling on my own, because before, you know, we were traveling together, but then as we started to, you know what I'm saying, I was like, oh, I'm making enough money, I'm about to go on these trips by myself, I'm about to do these campaigns on my own, like I'm about to scout photographers. I'm already trying to mentally prepare myself to kind of like understand that this relationship is not forever, and I need to figure out an exit strategy ASAP. I actually reached out to his ex-wife because I was so like, I need to know what the fuck I'm gonna deal with going through this divorce. So I reached out to her, and she was super sweet because she's literally just like me. His last wife was also 27, just like me, an Aquarius just like me, a model just like me, when he was married to her 14 years ago. Like, when we met each other, it was like, damn, we're so similar. Like, he clearly has a type, but he clearly can't keep on to this type. Aquarius people don't got time for his stupid shit, you know, like, oh my god, which I would never fuck with a Cancer ever. They're the worst. Do you not know that on the top FBIs for like serial killer Cancers are the top on the FBI's like Zodiac killer list, because they're just so fucking emotionally just warped, crazy, psychotic, controlling, manipulative. Like, whoo! Lesson learned. Stay away from the fucking Cancers and the Geminis and the Gemini men. Oh, stay the fuck away from me, Gemini. Not today, Satan. Keep your ass over there. So when I spoke to her and everything like that, and we met up, she was basically like, he's gonna try to make your life a living hell, so definitely get a lawyer. Because at the time I was like, oh, I don't need a lawyer, because we didn't have no property together, we didn't have no kids, we didn't have any money, like any account. Like, it was like, let's just call it even. But no. And he did, and he really did try to make it a living hell. Like, he really fucking did. When I say we were finishing each other's sentences, like, this man literally copies and pastes everything that he says and just sends it to the next person. It's kind of psychotic. You know, the definition of insanity is when you do the same thing over and over again expecting a different result. You wouldn't think you would have learned after your second marriage, but now your third divorce has come and gone, and like, it seems like you're just back to your old shits. Not my problem, thank God. I feel sorry for the next girl that has to deal with that man. Woo! But there's a lesson to be learned there. And another red flag to me is if when you talk to someone that you're dating and every single relationship failed because of the other person, and they had absolutely no part to play in it, that's another red flag. Because it's just like, with a person like him, I know he done been in like maybe 20 or 30 relationships, and for you to say that all of those relationships ended because it was that person's fault, yeah, let him tell it. He's telling people that our relationship ended because I have psychological problems, because I was never able to get over the trauma of having an abortion. And it added pressure to the relationship to have kids because I couldn't have kids. How psychologically manipulative is that that's what you're telling people? You're using my pain and my struggles to say that that's the reason why the relationship ended. Like, I was like, wow, how about this? How about I couldn't have kids because God didn't want your dusty, nasty demon sperm inside of me, and he was protecting my ovaries. How about that? In the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. And I had to go through a phase where, you know, when we were trying to have kids and we couldn't have kids, like, I went into an extreme like depression, because I was like, I was able to get pregnant before, like, this was never a problem, like, what's going on? Like, I'm doing things the right way. I got married, now I'm ready to have kids, like, I built my business. You know, I'm thinking if this don't work out, I can still take care of a business. But then at the same time, I'm trying to keep in mind that I'm also trying to break generational curses. So I'm not trying to be a single mom, you know, like, even though obviously I can do it, but I don't want to have to do it. So it was just kind of like, I really had to confront those issues, and I really had to mourn. And so I just fell into a serious depression. Like, I literally, everyone was getting pregnant. I'm looking at everybody getting pregnant, wishing like, what's wrong with me? You know, we went to the doctors like, you're perfect, you have all of your follicles, like, you have all of your, like, you're perfectly fine, you're healthy, just stop stressing about it. It's gonna make it harder to get pregnant. And so that was a phase that I was just like, I literally was just like, what the fuck? And then every single time I was like, you know, you went in to take that pregnancy test because you think, you know, you're gonna miss your period or whatever. And then when you really overthink it, your body starts to psych itself out, and you start to really get pregnancy symptoms. So yeah, so that was happening to me. And every time I would take my pregnancy test and I would not be pregnant, I would just be so mad. When I get my period, I would be so fucking like upset. But then there was a small part of me, like something would happen where I would be like, ooh, I'm so thankful that you're not the father, that not going to be the father of my child. Like, he would do things, like he would talk about his own daughter, like he would call her a cunt, he would call her a b, he would call her all of these nasty words because she's being a teenager, because she misses her dad. And you know, he's from LA and he moved to Houston, you know, starting this whole new life, you know, got married, just like a whole bunch of shit. And so he was being just as nasty, you know, as a little child was being. So it was just kind of like, ew, that's disgusting. And if you would talk about your own daughter that way, like, how the hell would you talk about me? Back, let's back it up. The day everything hit the fan, let me tell y'all the day I left, how I found out everything. So the day I left, though, that morning I took a shower and I said my prayers out loud. And usually I say my prayers silently, but I was in the shower and I was praying. And when I say I was having like a little, like I was taken over by the Spirit. I was like, God, whatever it is, Lord, whatever is done in the dark, let it be revealed into the light. I trust you, Lord. I am ready. I am ready for this shift. I am ready, Lord. And I just kept saying that over and over. And then my ex comes into the bathroom and he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm praying. He was just like, oh, why are you praying like that? And I'm like, well, ain't you the devil? Like, not today, Satan. Like, how you gonna ask me why I'm praying the way I'm praying? So that day, my cousin and I went to a fete. You know, people from the islands know what I'm talking about. So we went to this fete. You know, we had our, you know, chilling, dancing. We had our shorts on, you know, because when you go to a fete, you don't want to wear your nice clothes because it's going to get dirty. So, we was chilling, dancing. Then, he called my cousin because she was with me. I had my phone, but it was in my fanny pack. And I was like, I can't keep taking it out because it's going to get dirty. Like, shit's flying everywhere. So he calls her, and at this time it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and she answers the phone. She's like, oh yeah, we're cool, we're here dancing, everything's fun, like we're having a good time, we're safe. Then she hung up the phone. We keep dancing. When I say, that was the first time in my life, in my 27 years of living on this earth, that I danced until the sun came up. I literally danced, and we were outside and I watched the sun come up. When I say I have never felt the spirit of carnival so deep in my veins, I caught the Holy Ghost in the crowd. Like, people feel like you catch the Holy Ghost only in church. Hell no. I feel like when you have a gathering of people who are in unison, just celebrating in sync with life in the moment, happy, joyous dancing, that I caught the Holy Ghost, man. That was an amazing feeling. But let me tell you, I went home that day and I saw this man sitting on the couch in the dark. I said, why are you sitting in the dark? He said, why are you coming home so late? I said, I'm a grown-ass woman, I could do what I want. Okay, let me stop. I just caught the Holy Ghost again. But I was like, I'm grown, I can do what I want. Like, why are you over here sitting in the dark? Like, that's weird. He was just like, I don't believe you. And I'm just like, what didn't you believe? I was out dancing with Amber all night. Like, I texted you when I was on my way home, all this other stuff. He was like, no, I won't have this. And then I was just like, really? I was just like, after all the shit that you done put me through in this relationship, you want to talk about you don't want to have this? I was like, okay, cool. Mind you, I was sweating. I've been dancing all night. I'm dirty, covered in sweat, mud, tears. I just came down from the Holy Ghost. So I'm like, my nigga, you are not about to fuck my flow up. I was like, whatever the hell you got going on, you gonna have to deal with that. Then this man goes, oh, I have my bags packed, I'm leaving. And I was like, okay, bye. Girl, I went and took a shower, went to sleep, got a nice rest. And when I realized when shit started to hit, I was like, oh, so this man decides to leave with a suitcase because of this? You decided you up and ready to leave? I was like, something ain't right. Something ain't right. He done fucked up. He doing some shit. He's projecting. Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's exactly what the fuck he's doing. And I'm like, I'm so glad I was in this place in my life where I could see. I was like, nah. So something in me was like, I'm gonna call his friend. The only fucking friend this man has in his whole entire life is a girl. This girl. Mind you, another red flag. It's a red flag when a man has no male friends and only has female friends. That's a huge red flag, because to me it can either mean that they're so insecure with themselves that they can't hold their own around other men, or he's a fucking hoe and he's fucking all of them bitches. That's how I feel, real talk. Because if you don't got no friend, if you don't got no healthy relationships with your family, friends, you don't have friends, long-term friends, those are all red flags. That's a red flag. I'm just saying. So anyway, so I called his one friend and I was like, you know, he's acting really strange. He just did this, da. Then she was like, oh, yeah, you know, I didn't really want to say anything, but I guess I should say it because you're a good woman, and he did the same thing to his last wife. She was like, oh, the last time he was here in LA, he hooked up with this trans woman, and I thought you should know. And I was like, okay. Ugh. See, and this is why I had to fucking get a yoni steam like ASAP, because them fucking energies and demons and stuff that man was carrying, I'm like, oh my god, I need to cleanse myself ASAP. And mind you, this is his best friend. This is his best friend of 15 years. When he met her, she was also super young. She was like 19 or 19 years old too when she met him, and he was in his late 30s going on 40s, I think. Yeah, so he's all his life has always just been like a parasite to these young black girls. It's really scary to me. At this point, I sent him a text and I'm just like, you like, I'm going in. I was like, you dirty, you nasty, blah blah blah. Mind you, at the same time, I'm packing my suitcase, I'm packing all my shit. I call my grandma right after. I tell her, I'm crying, hysterical, really, because I'm disgusted by the betrayal. Like, I felt like I would have found out that he was cheating on me with one of the models, which was what he was doing, but I felt like that would have came out, versus it was just like, so yeah, so she had all of this is in the text messages, and then he was like, oh, I didn't cheat on you, all I did was squeeze her boobs. I just touched her boobs because I guess she got some new titties or whatever, and they were in a hotel room or whatever. Who's to say? Who's to say? You talking about, oh, all you did was touch her boobs? Please, that's all you want to confess to? This man lies so fucking much, he wouldn't even confess to his own damn confessionals. Okay, so I'm like, no, you're a liar. Nope, I don't want to hear it. And then and then when I spoke to the trans girl, she was like, he didn't have his ring on, he took his ring off, all this shit. I'm like, nope, I'm done, I'm out of here. Baby, I was already risking my life to be with you, and then you're gonna go and cheat on me with a man, basically. So yeah, I was disgusted. I was disgusted. I was so disgusted. So that's really why I was mad, because I just felt dirty. I was like, I wasted, I don't want to say I wasted, because I did learn and grow so much in this relationship that it was not a waste. But it was just like, damn, this is how this shit is going to end. I was like, well, God, I did ask you to reveal less than 24 hours ago. I did say what was done in the dark, reveal it. May it be in the light, in the name of Jesus. And that is what you did. So hey, let me hurry up, take this pass, get the fuck up out of here real fast, okay? After all that, this man gonna try to delete my his Instagram. So what he did, he was so mad because I guess he ain't never had a woman leave him in his whole entire decades of living on this earth, that his ego was not feeling it, baby. He went on my Instagram and he started reporting all of the photos he took of me of copyright infringement. I'm fucking with my finances, but little do you know, when you have Yeshua, the Most High, and the universe on your side, You can't stop me. You can't and you will not stop me. In that same hour, because I woke up and I saw that same hour, I created another Instagram page and 1,000 people follow me, looking for me, asking me what the fuck is going on. Okay, so that's what happened with my Instagram. I had like 80,000 at then, going on 90. So I pretty much had to start over, which in the name of Jesus was a blessing, because it really made me closer to my community. It really made me get more in touch with my creative side, because I was no longer, you know, doing things with having to ask for someone approval, or like feel someone's gonna be looking at me some type of way or some shit, you know. So started over, moved in with my mom, ended up getting an apartment in November. Okay, and it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, you know, watching this growth and knowing that you've seen me glow up without you. That's the greatest victory, like, for me to still be great and victorious without you. Yes, it feels amazing, and it's like, to me, it empowered me more. And that's the other thing, when you're dating someone who's old, you have to understand that you really and truly have to accept them for their ways, because they're stuck in their ways. They're too old to change. Really and truly, they're too old to change. So you might as well just know that what you see is what you're gonna fucking get. And that's another reason why I wouldn't date someone that old, because I want to be able to grow and evolve with my partner. I want us to both grow together. I want it to be like, I want us to be in sync. I don't want it to feel like you over here trying to drag me up to you and tell me what to do every single step of the way. It's like, no, I can't do that. And I had to realize that your girl had daddy issues as fuck. So with me being able to confront that, I had to really take a step back from my marriage and really look at it from the outside. And I had to realize that even though I didn't want it to be true, that a lot of the stigma about older men and how they act towards younger women and the dynamic in the relationship, I had to realize there was a lot of truth in that. Truly, a part of me was kind of just like, I really just wanted to prove everybody wrong. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, that was my thing. I was like, this is gonna work, because I know my intentions are not, like, I'm not a gold digger. Like, I'm not out here for this man's money. I literally make more than this man. Like, little do people know. Like, it's really funny, because, you know, you can't really judge a book by its cover. But in my situation, like, what I saw was literally what it was. Like, there was a reason why, almost 60, that, you know, he's in his third marriage and now going through his third divorce. And it's just kind of like, damn. Mind you, I didn't even know he was married 3 times, like, I was gonna be his third wife, until after we got engaged, and it came up in conversation. Like, I guess he said it, like he's mentioned it before, but then he kind of just realized that, oh shit, I guess I never really said that he was married to the mother of his child, who's actually 7 years younger than me. So that was an interesting dynamic. But for her, when I spoke to her about, like, when I left him and everything, she was like, I'm just so glad that you're not in it. His own daughter, he was like, I'm so glad that you are out of it. And that's why she was so disconnected from me, because she's so used to so many women coming in and out of his life. And so she pretty much saw, oh yeah, this isn't gonna last long. Like, this is his saying. She's like, this is what he's been doing my whole entire life. So she's like, she kind of laughed, because she was like, she knew him. So it was just kind of like, damn, I'm sorry you're going through this. But it was just like, that shit was crazy. When things like this happen, trust me, like, when life changes happen, when you have a breakup, when you get a new job, if you don't have kids, get a new house, like, any type of goals or any type of life, you'll see the people who remain consistent in your life. And for me, I don't see the people that I thought were friends, I didn't see them as me losing my friends. I saw it as me gaining peace. Me gaining the peace of mind to knowing I'm not going to be carrying these fake ass people with me into my new life that will be filled with abundance. Okay, I have no regrets, though. Absolutely no regrets, because every single thing that has happened to me in my life has led up to me being the woman that I am now, and I am proud of who I am. And unfortunately, since the whole divorce was made, public by him, you know, deleting my Instagram account and me, you know, having to now explain, or, you know, because my relationship was also public. So like, for having all these hundreds and thousands of people like, oh, what's going on, she got new her page, her husband's not on her page, what's going on, blah blah blah, forced it to be very public. But I feel like also that kind of made me closer to my tribe, because it's like so many different women experience being in a toxic relationship. A lot of people either stay in that shit because of kids, or they feel like, you know, they don't deserve better, or like it's convenient, or like, you know, that person is taking care of them, or whatever the reason is that they stay in a toxic relationship. Like, I just want to be here to motivate women to be like, no, you don't need that shit, and stay true to yourself, and stay positive, and keep your heart open to love. Like, you will find love again. Like, it's not the end of the world, you know what I'm saying? You can take care of yourself, you're independent, you're smart, you're beautiful. Like, I want women to know this about themselves. Like, you should never sacrifice your soul for somebody else, your happiness for somebody else. I learned you should never downplay your achievements for other people to make them feel good. You should never feel like you're stuck or trapped in something, you know. It should always be love and happiness, and that's what you deserve. So I feel like, hey, it ain't all bad, you know. Can't lie, you know, opened up my life, found a new love. I didn't let that situation make me cold or hard or hate men, or like, no, like, I'm not about to block my blessings like that. And it really does make me feel good to know that you're fucking miserable without me. It makes me feel great. That's the sweetest revenge. Like, I don't have to make a false fake ass lawsuit against you. I don't have to embezzle money from you. Oh, and that's what he did. He embezzled money from me during the divorce. I should have been flattered or pissed off. Like, I had so many mixed emotions. I was like, for you to feel like you need to embezzle money from me, because he told his lawyers and my lawyers that based off my Instagram, because he stalks and watches my shit every fucking day, front row seat to my success, that he felt like he deserved some money because I'm doing so well. Somehow my lawyer allowed him to get $1,500 out of me. And me, I was just like, listen, anything to get this man away from me, and for me to get my last name back, because I'm ready. I'm just ready. Like, he was talking about he ain't had no money, he had the IOU, he's taking out loans, all of this shit. Man, I was just like, look at your life, and now look at you over here asking me for money. And then on the check, actually it wasn't a check, because he didn't want checks. He wanted a in money order, because he has problems with the IRS too. So he pretty much was like, write me a money order so there's cash on hand type shit, and I wrote donation on it. Because it's the last fucking handout you ever gonna fucking get from me. Period. That's what motivates me to continue to just mind my business and just live my life the way I'm doing it, because I could be like that. I can be 50 years old playing the same tired ass record, you know, pitiful ass life, no substance, no true love, lonely, you know, hating themselves. It's just like, why? This is why people are like, oh, I'm surprised you ain't mad at them girls. Like, why you ain't mad at them? It's just like, I don't want my pussy to stink like them. I don't want my face to be dry like them. Like, when you mad and you bitter and you holding on to shit, your vagina start to stink. You know what I'm saying? Your skin starts to deteriorate. Like, your glow, you got this gray glow. It's just nasty. It's just nasty. Like, I'm not trying to vibrate with no low frequency ass bitches, okay? Literally, I'm better than that. You're better than that. Don't do it. Karma is the ultimate and the only weapon I need, okay? So that's literally how I feel about that. I'm so thankful I was able to leave that relationship with no kids, no matter how much I wanted them. Having kids with the wrong person can put your life in misery forever, because you're stuck with them forever. So I'm so thankful that I did not have kids with this man. I didn't catch no diseases from this man. I'm clean, I'm healthy, I got my business, I'm listen, family, friends, like, listen, I'm so thankful that I didn't have to like have any permanent damage other than the emotional damage that has been done to me in the relationship. There's been a lot of emotional trauma that I had to deal with, like, and I'm not realizing that until I'm like in a new relationship and I have triggers and I have things that I'm like, oh damn, I gotta work on that. You know, there's still things that I realize that I have a lot of healing that I need to do, because like 7 years is a long time to be with somebody. Like, you know, it's gonna have an impact on your life for sure. So but each step, day by day, doing my yoni steams, doing my spiritual baths, praying more, making sure to dive into doing things that I love more, making time for my friends and family, because I wasn't before when I was in that relationship. They didn't really care too much for him. They just respected me, and so therefore they respected the relationship. But when we were together, you know, he didn't have any friends, so we couldn't really, it was always, anytime we would have a function together, it would be me bringing all my friends. And the other thing is too, every time he would be with my friends, he would always touch them and be super playful and like hang all over them, and I can tell that they're uncomfortable, like, and I'm uncomfortable because I'm like, why the fuck, those are my friends, those are not your friends, like, why are you touching on them like that? Like, he was just very touchy playful. And it wasn't until like I got the divorce, like I left him, that my friends, because they were out of respect, didn't want to tell me. But you tell me in the comments, like, if you suspected that your husband, that your friend's husband was coming on to you, or your friend's husband made you feel uncomfortable, would you say something, or would you keep it to yourself? Because I really feel like it depends on the type of woman you're talking to. Because if you're talking to a woman who's like still trying to figure shit out, a lot of the times, yeah, you know, they flip the blame on you. They make it seem like you're the one that's, you know, seeking the attention or making him do this shit. You know, it depends. But me, I would have been so fucking thankful if my friend spoke up and said something, because I felt like it would have really confirmed and validated a lot of the feelings that I had, and it just would have, like, I wouldn't have been in it as long as I was, that's for sure. But yeah, it's a lot of life lessons, like a lot. So I definitely have to say I'm a better person because of it. I love the woman that I am now. Like, the woman that I am now, honey, like, in that relationship, it really made me stronger in my spirituality. So you tell me, I want to know, like, what are your stories? Like, have you ever dated someone extremely old? Like, did you deal with the whole dealing with control issues? And oh my god, let's not forget about the gaslighting. Like, they've mastered that shit, especially if they're like 40s and 50s and they still single, and there's a reason why they're still single, sis. That's a huge fucking red flag. Like, I'm just saying, if don't nobody want your ass, what the fuck was wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Well, I know this was super long. You know, I had to update y'all 7 years, like 8 years. Like, that's 8 years kind of pushed into one video. So I did the best I could. If you like this, please like, please subscribe. You guys can encourage me to keep posting more, because y'all know this is not my thing. But if y'all like it, I'll supply the demand. Thanks for joining me. Love y'all, tribe. Okay, now where my blunt at? Because maybe